Welcome to a special episode of the Parents at Work podcast. Today, we're breaking with our usual format of interviewing two moms and two dads in a particular industry or sector because we have an incredibly special guest today. We have Mayor Muriel Bowser, the mayor of our hometown, the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Mayor Bowser has served her hometown in elected office since 2004 as advisory neighborhood commissioner, member of the D.C. Council, and mayor since 2015. She is the first African-American woman to be elected to 3 four-year terms as mayor of an American city. Among her many accomplishments and relevant to this podcast, in 2018, Mayor Bowser launched the annual National Maternal and Infant Health Summit to bring together officials, health experts, and community members to have focused conversations about perinatal health and racial disparities in birth outcomes. She's a graduate of the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative and of Leadership Greater Washington. She holds a Bachelor of Arts from Chatham University and a Master of Public Policy from American University. Mayor Bowser tells everyone that there's only one job better than being mayor, and that is being Miranda's mom. Mayor Bowser was blessed to become a mom by adoption and proud to show everyone that there are many ways to be a family. She and Miranda, who is 6 years old, call Ward 4 home. Welcome to our podcast, Mayor Bowser. We're so delighted to have you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we would love to kick off with the question, what is your personal working parent story? Can you take us through that journey?
My working parent story. Well, you have described that I was blessed to become a mom about 1 month before my primary election in 2018. So I guess that's
quite a time.
Yes.
Wow.
It was quite a time. And my daughter joined me for voting that November. So when she was, I guess that makes her about 6 months old. And we have been hanging out ever since. And she is just a joy in my life. And I think managing a city and figuring out how to be a new mom was a task I thought I was up to, and I think I'm doing okay, but it is a daily learning.
Amazing. How would you describe what it is like to be a parent who is also a public figure, who's also, the mayor of the nation's capital these days?
Well, I think I've been in public life for a long time, in elective office for a long time now. So I don't know how to be just a normal person. I don't know how normal people think about these things because I kind of think about everything through that lens of someone who's been in public service, who campaigns, but who just also loves the work that I do. So I think that it has brought a richness. Being a mom has brought just a different texture to that experience, and just a greater sense of just having a normal life.
I just thought of this question and hoping I can sneak it in before I go off to you, Jason. But what would you tell other people who are moms who are thinking about running for office, but are thinking, because I'm a mom, that's probably not a good idea?
I just think, and this is likely true for all moms, but I think you have to be very thoughtful about your support system and be able to manage work, manage home, and deal with a lot of guilt for not being there sometimes, but making up for it in a lot of other ways. So I think that's important. And one thing that I live by is that I always keep promises to my daughter. And I always reserve time in every week, in every day. That's her time. And I try not to impose on it.
Beautiful. Yeah, that special time is so important. And as you suggested, the guilt and the need for community are ubiquitous, regardless of whether you're the mayor or not.
Yes.
Over to you, Jason, for our next question.
And again, Mayor Bowser, thrilled to have you with us. And I love how you're talking about becoming a parent as daily learning. I'm curious, as you're talking and thinking about, you had said that there's a need for support. When you became a working parent and you were going through your primary election, what workplace supports did you find helpful when Miranda came into your life?
Well, I'm really lucky. I want that to be clear to all of your listeners. I count myself blessed. So I have access to a lot of things that many moms don't, and many single moms don't. So my story is, it may be a lot different. But my daughter, she arrived maybe a month before I thought, which was good. And that, I didn't miss my election. But it was also interesting because that meant everything got sped up a little more, including making sure I had the right child care and making sure that everything at work was settled in the way that I want. I say that I'm lucky because I had been in office, I have a great team. And even before it was the norm, I could be away from the office and still do my job.
And it is wonderful to hear how blessed you are. When, in the role that you're in, when you think of workplace supports, what didn't you have, but you think other parents might benefit from as you've learned from your own experience in becoming a parent?
I'll answer that from the perspective of, moms that I know and from what I did have that I think was, well, flexibility. I'm at a stage in my career where I make my schedule. And so that is helpful. What I don't have though is there's some things that only I can do.
Right,
And they have to be done. And so if that means that I can't make a special event for my daughter because my presence is required.
right.
And there are a lot of things that when you're married, only you can do. And it may be a difference from an adoptive mom's experience. It's also different, I think, from a mom that gives birth. I remember very distinctly a few days after my daughter was born having like a knockdown, drag out conversation related to the job. And I remember telling the other person, like, I'm not there, right? Because, I have a 3-day-old child.
Yeah.
And the person I was talking to was like, okay, but when are you going to be here? So I think it's just all of that. And then it was a new learning for everyone, I have to tell you, from the press to my constituents to people who may work in politics but not in my administration. So everybody was learning at the same time. But on a very positive note, I think they embraced my daughter as if, she was the city's new baby.
The city's new baby. I love it.
Yes.
And as everybody was understanding this, was there either implicit or explicit new boundaries that were set now that Mayor Bowser has Miranda time?
Yes. And I will say again, I'm blessed to have a great team who's worked with me a long time and understands that, especially early on when I was trying to figure out childcare. Even my team now, Tuesday was a day off for DC public schools. And I think I forgot to tell everybody that I had to be home a little bit early. So things like that is something that we have to learn. But another thing that I do because I have to work on weekends frequently, and I try to schedule events that are family friendly.
Mm,
So people know if you want me to come out on a Saturday or Sunday, I limit those appearances, but I'm more likely to be able to go if my daughter can come. And very, very recently, I started taking her more to evening events. And
mhm.
I was seated next to a family at a dinner, and it was at a time when I usually am home with my daughter. And the host, like, please, you got to come. You got to come. My kids are going to be there. Bring her. And I thought, oh my goodness, your kids must be used to going out to galas at night. Mine isn't. So then I said, well, she's old enough now. And so we're going to try it. And I tried to organize all of the things to keep her busy. But then the hard boundary was when she's no longer having fun and she's tired, then we're leaving.
Right, right. And what have you noticed? I mean, this is so special that you have a plus one now that is able to go to all these events and experience all these different types of people. What have you noticed in Miranda as she is being introduced to the broader DC community?
Part of it is, and someone in office gave me this advice, is that sometimes children of politicians have a hard way to go in life. And so I am trying to balance that. While I want her to have some exposure, I also don't want her to think that she's anything different than other kids. And that's kind of hard to do. Imagine being like a little kid, 2 years old to 6 years old, I guess is when she started noticing. And you get out of a car, and immediately when you get out of a car, there are like 100 eyes on you.
Right, right.
From cameras to people trying to get you something, to people who want to give you, pinch your cheeks or give you hugs. And really, she didn't understand that. So over the course of the last several years, I think she's gotten more comfortable with it. But I see my job as her mom is to try to keep her life as normal as possible. Yes, expose her to nice things, but also let her know that we only are able to do some of these things is because mommy has a very important job. And because I have that job, I can't be at home with you, but it is a big responsibility. And the other trick I tell her is we're going to work when we're going to these things. And I ask her, do you want to go to work with me? Or do you want to stay home? It's
Takes
your
the
choice.
glitz out. Yep.
Yes. But do you want, because when we go, we're going to work. And then I promise her a treat.
Oh, nice. Nice. So what's her favorite treat that she likes to get?
She likes Sour Patch Kids. Please don't tell my dentist.
Yeah, our boys are also very fond of Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
And I love how you frame it as going to work.
Yes.
It's a great transition to the next question. As a career coach, I'm always curious, especially someone of your background, when you think about your relationship to work when you were growing up in middle school and high school, what was your first job? Take us back to Mayor Bowser growing up, and what were you doing vis-a-vis work growing up?
Oh, my first job was I was a tour guide on the Tourmobile. Do you all remember the Tourmobile?
Oh, I went on the Tourmobile as a kid for sure. Wow.
Yep, I worked on the Tourmobile.
I haven't heard that word in a long time. In fact, I'd sort of forgotten that it existed. Wow.
Yes. Yes. It was a lot of fun. So I gave many tours around the mall and Arlington National Cemetery.
Yes.
That takes you back, huh?
A teenage job that you can only do here in DC. Yes.
That's right. It's so DC.
Awesome.
It's your original stand-up time. I love it.
The Parents at Work podcast is proudly supported by two programs, Mindful Return and Ready, Set, Launch. For the past decade, Mindful Return has helped working parents succeed both at home and at work. If you're an employer, you know how much it costs to recruit a talented employee. Let Mindful Return help you avoid those high turnover and recruitment costs. With our asynchronous group programs for new parents, we help you retain your new parent colleagues who are returning to work after parental leave. We partner with over 100 employers and have proven retention data. Learn more and sign up for a free program demo at www.mindfulreturn.com/4-employers. That's www.mindfulreturn.com/4-employers.
For more than 12 years, Ready, Set, Launch has been empowering high-performing executives, attorneys, and consultants to achieve their career and business goals. Are you looking to grow your professional services practice, engage your valuable networks, or advance your own career? Turn to Ready, Set, Launch for our interactive keynotes, engaging trainings, in both group and one-on-one coaching. We partner with Fortune 500 companies, AmLaw 100 law firms, global executive search firms, and professional and trade associations, among others. Learn more at www.readysetlaunch.net. That's www.readysetlaunch.net.
Mayor Bowser, we know that there are really well-documented motherhood biases in the workplace. And there are people out there who assume when a woman becomes a mom that somehow she is now less committed and perhaps even, as some people have revealed, less competent. And so I am on a mission to reframe the narrative about working motherhood in particular and working parenthood to talk about the skills that we gain through motherhood that are so incredibly useful in making us great leaders.
Right.
So my question for you is, what skills do you believe that you have gained through parenthood that are directly applicable to and helpful to you as a mayor?
Well, my child is a great negotiator.
Yeah.
So let me put it that way. So being able to negotiate in very basic terms is a great
Mhm.
skill. Like a big part of my job is negotiating and talking about very big ideas, but being able to talk about them in a way that resonates with people. And so I think that my experience as a mom has strengthened my ability to talk to people and think about on different ways to talk to people. I think scheduling and multitasking is mom's just rule when it comes to doing all of those things as well. You know, moms are also, and this is what I didn't appreciate, there's a whole new social network that moms navigate from, the school community to sports communities and dance communities. And for me personally, that has just exposed me to a group of people who don't necessarily get involved in politics, but are very engaged in so many different things that contribute to the life in our city, that it has been amazing. And so I think the ability to just navigate these very diverse social networks where women of all backgrounds are gaining a lot of leadership skills
Mhm.
is has just been really eye-opening.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I
Mhm.
really appreciate and can relate to your point about learning how to translate concepts into 6-year-old English, which is
Yes,
helpful for all of us.
it's
Yes.
helpful for all of us. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, over to you, Jason, for our wrap-up questions.
All right, before I hit my wrap-up questions, I'm dying to know lately, what has Miranda been negotiating for besides Sour Patch Kids? Like what are her go-to negotiations?
Well, she negotiates frequently for how many gummies she's going to get, Sour Patch Kids. But I have to give her a lot of credit for, like, this week, Tuesday, election day. It kind of snuck up on me that this was a day out of school. And so we have one of the programs at the elementary schools that I sometimes sign her up for. So so she's not home all day. She can go and play and meet other kids, go to a different school.
Mhm.
And she really didn't want to go.
Okay.
And so she started the day before. I don't want to go. I want to do this. I want to do that. And so by the next morning, she had worn me down completely and promised that, she would go outside. She would only watch an hour of the Ninja Kids instead of 4 hours of the Ninja Kids. And she recognized that my big issue was that I didn't want her watching TV all day.
Yeah.
So she promised to do a lot of other things. So she's really good, and she's so smart. She grasps concepts much more than I believe I did when I was 6 years old.
I love it. I love it. All right, so lightning round questions. With 2020 hindsight, what piece of advice would Mayor Bowser give Mayor Bowser when you became a parent? Looking at all the things you've learned, what advice would you give to yourself?
I would definitely invest in experiences and less stuff.
Mm.
I definitely would. I am overwhelmed with stuff. And I just think what my daughter appreciates and the memories that we're building together, and they don't have to be expensive. They could be hanging out at the pool for that afternoon, or having a simple birthday party with just family and friends rather than these real expensive ones. Or even, one that I did really save up for and invest was to take her on the Disney Magic. And she still
Mm.
thinks
Mm.
about that. So I would say the biggest things that I would tell myself then and tell other people was just, like, have fun with your kids. Somebody gave me some advice years ago, and I didn't appreciate it at the time, but he was like, get down on the ground with her. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, no, really, you've got to be down on her level. And so when I was doing her playroom, I intentionally didn't put any chairs, like real furniture, in there for adults, but just a couple of stools, so that I would always be reminded, like, get down with her, play with her, see her, and make sure that she sees you, that kids see you having fun and being
Mm.
silly.
Mm. Mm. That's good.
Mhm.
That's special. That's really special. I love your focus on experiences and
Mhm.
also blocking that time to be able to just be present and be on her level.
Yes.
That's wonderful. When you were preparing to become a parent, was there a book that influenced your parenting that you really appreciated?
I think I read a lot. I think I read the kind of the birth to three, what to expect when you're expecting. I think I have that. But I also shared a number of books. I think I gave my parents a book that said, what question or what would, I don't remember what the title is, but it was something like, well, what should you ask about adoption, or what
Mm.
do you think somebody, one of those books that ended up being, I saw my mom's copy where she had underlined things in it.
Mm.
So I shared that with her and other people. And people shared a lot of books with me. I will tell you, my daughter, like, we built just a wonderful library for her that I felt was very well put together because people shared their favorite children's books with us. And so I just loved for her to have a rich library from an early age.
That is so special. Do you and Miranda have a favorite book that you read together?
Yes, my favorite book, well, it's a couple, is Your Mama a Llama?
I
Classic.
love the Llama Mama books. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
it's a
that's our
classic.
favorite. Is Your Mama a Llama is my
Uh-huh.
absolute, but I also love 10 Fingers and 10 Toes uh,
Nice.
quite a
Nice.
lot. And so what's the other one about go to sleep, little mouse, little mouse? We have a lot of books, but part of our focus this year, which is why we're really lucky to live in DC, where pre-K is universal and free, and at
Mhm.
age 3. So here, my daughter is 6 years old, and she's already been to real school for 3
Mhm.
years.
Mhm.
We are in our neighborhood school. We take advantage of, all the supports. And I wanted to focus this year on her being able to read, and she can, and be able to ride a bike, and she can, and be able to swim, and she's getting there. So we spent a lot of time this year and I have taken on the role as first tutor, and learning with her and with our teacher, who's been amazing, about how to best support what she's doing in the classroom.
That's amazing. I think we literally cried tears when we found out that our sons had gotten into the public pre-K program in our neighborhood.
Yes,
We're like, oh my
yes.
gosh. So yeah, we're really, really grateful for that program.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. And
Yeah.
when I was first elected, people would say to me, "Oh, I used to live in DC, but I moved because we had kids." And I would say, there are kids in DC. And so part of what people were saying then was that they thought the schools were better, or they thought the recreation centers were, or they thought something. And now people say, I'm staying in DC because of the schools. Or people from Maryland trying to rent out our ball fields and soccer fields
Yeah.
because we've made real investments in families in this city.
And we are so appreciative of that, as Lori and I have both of our kids in DC public schools. And a shout out to everybody that is working in a DCPS, the staff, the teachers, the principals, the social workers and psychologists, all the wonderful people that make up DCPS. We are thankful.
They're amazing.
Thank you. Yes, and I double that sentiment for sure. And we have the best of the best, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. We've really spent a lot of years making sure we have great buildings and great people to teach our kids.
That is wonderful. Final question. No doubt that you are often asked to share messages about any types of things. Are there things that you want parents to know about, whether it's an invention or a technology or a tool that helped you better be a parent to Miranda that you are so thankful for?
Well, I will say Miranda's kindergarten teacher introduced us to iReady. It is the system that the DC Public Schools uses as a diagnostic system for reading and math. But the teacher can also provide extra lessons throughout the year, which she has done for our kindergarten class. And I just think it has been amazing. Not only is Miranda exposed to that, but it gives us that time together to work on school. One fun thing that people get a kick out when they come to our house is I set reminders on our Alexa when we were potty training. So, that was a reminder to her when it was time or when it was time to get ready for bed. And then I forgot how to turn it off. So
Alexa still reminds.
So I just discovered it and was able to turn it off. And the last one I'll mention that's really fun and I stumbled on, and that is, have you seen these picture frames? These like Aura frames, the digital frames. And I've been terrible at printing albums and picture books and all of that, but really easily I can take pictures from my phone and put them on this frame. And Miranda loves just seeing, from birth to last weekend, what she was able to do. And we're in a little network with my brother and my mom, and we're able to share pictures with each other.
Oh, Jason, we should get one of those for our
you
boys.
You gotta get one.
Our youngest son loves just taking our phone just to look through the pictures of, what's happened in his life over the past years and months. So that's a great idea.
Oh, you're going to love it.
Yay.
You're going to absolutely. And it's a great gift. And it's really fun when you're in a network.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So grateful to have had you. And I have to say personally, I am proud to be a resident of a city with a working mom at the helm.
Oh, thank you,
Muriel Bowser.
Thank you for that.
Really delighted.
Have a good one.
Grateful to have you. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Parents at Work podcast.
If you liked what you heard, don't just turn us off and walk away. Please help us get the word out by doing one of these 4 things. 1, subscribe to the podcast. 2, share this episode with at least one working parent, friend, or colleague.
3, if your organization has a parent or caregiver employee resource group, share it with them too. And finally, 4, leave us a quick review on iTunes. You've got this, moms and dads.